Good afternoon and welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show on Newsmax. For weeks now, we've been detailing the complicity of the biased press in reporting narrative over news. It's still going on. Not only is the majority in the press desperate to lie to you, they're equally desperate to protect Democrats from being held accountable for all the market damage being done to our country and our people. Getting off the Democrats' crazy train, that's our lesson in today's preamble. One of the arenas that the press refuses to report on is the corruption of so-called education in America. Students at the University of Southern Maine, for example, lost their minds after a professor at the college accurately stated a biological fact that there were only two sexes. In the era of woke narrative over facts, stating scientific fact is, well, blasphemy. I mean that literally. Wokeness is one of the articles of faith for left-wing fanatics. According to a student by the name of Elizabeth Leibiger, a clearly deranged and confused person she is, she identifies as, quote, non-binary. She said the stated fact that there were only two sexes made her, quote, feel under personal attack, end quote. Did you get that? Science is an attack on the fantasy world leftists want to live in. Do we have to ignore reality and science to accommodate the delusional left? I don't think so. While we're on education, I might as well tell you that the Democrats are not stopping with their critical race theory, LGBTQ, ABCD, EFG, cultural Marxism, their gender-affirming campaign against America's children. The left now wants to talk about more sex with your kids by talking about something they call polyamory relationships.
I pride myself on being a teacher who's very open about her life. And one of the things I'm very open about is my sexuality. I have a trans flag, a bi flag, a non-binary flag, all on my desk at my work. But there's one thing I'm not open about, and it's being poly. And today that actually became something I had to worry about for the first time. And one of the kids on Tuesday is going to ask me if I have a partner. And the answer is yeah. And I have another one too. And I don't know how to handle that conversation, because while I know that the kids are more accepting of things like homosexuality, bisexuality, all of that, polyamory is not in the conversation. It's not something that is talked about.
First, who is allowing GovEd to hire teachers to talk about their sex lives with our kids? Is that GovEd's stated job? Secondly, why is GovEd placing such a high priority on normalizing sexual perversion among our children? Thirdly, how can GOP and Democrats in good conscience continue to support a GovEd system that has taken the power out of parents' hands? This is why the Chris Salcedo Show supports the parental school choice movement and why we oppose any politician that works to undermine it. Much in the same way we oppose any politician, Republican or Democrat, who has voted to institute vacuous laws that have resulted in 6 million illegal aliens streaming into the United States with no punishment for government officials who have enabled this crime against our people. It is an indisputable fact that illegal immigration is wrong, illegal immigration is immoral, and illegal immigration is bad for any nation forced to endure it by its political class. Joe Biden and his Democrats have allowed over 1 million people to slip into the United States undetected. These known gotaways are in our country, and we have no idea who they are or why they are here. They could be gang members. They could be terrorists. They could be seeking to plan the next 9/11. All enabled by the Democrat Party. There are consequences for the Democrats' lawlessness. Our people suffer those consequences. A man is charged with a brutal mass stabbing on the Las Vegas Strip that killed 2 people and injured a half-dozen others. It's an illegal alien from Guatemala. Here's another fun fact about 32-year-old Yanni Barrios. He has a criminal record in the People's Republic of California. But California, being a sanctuary state, hid the illegal alien's criminal activity from the other states, allowing the illegal alien to travel to a neighboring state and kill. Now, if California were lawful, California would have made sure this criminal alien was deported by cooperating with federal authorities. They do not. Should Americans be made to forfeit our lives simply because left-wingers live in a fantasy world, believing that illegal immigration is a victimless crime? I don't think so. Oh, here's another aspect of the illegal immigration fantasy I love destroying, especially for you folks in left-wing states. The aliens are not just harming border states. The original illegal alien airline, the Biden regime, continues to fly aliens into towns across this country. Officials in rural New York and that town say they were given no advance notice by federal officials that a flight carrying 13 to 18-year-old illegal aliens would be flown into their area and then release those illegal aliens into that community so the taxpayers there could shoulder the burden. Hey, Montgomery, New York, or Montgomery Village, New York, how will you be voting this November? But wait. We're told that you Democrat voters out there who pull the lever for socialists in New York, we're told you love yourself some illegal aliens. Isn't that right? Or maybe you just love illegal aliens as long as you never have to deal with one. The sanctuary city of New York is talking out of both sides of its mouth. The local press is hiding this, but we will not. While Mayor Eric Adams makes a big show of welcoming folks who busted into the United States, he's forcing cops to implement policies to keep busloads of aliens out of the rotten apple. Sources telling the New York Post that leftists in City Hall want to use cops to find excuses, any excuse, to take those buses off the road to complicate this mass transportation of illegal aliens from Joe Biden's border states. Nothing is too minor to take them out of service, one writes. One law enforcement source told the Post. So instead of cleaning up New York's crime-ridden streets, police are being forced to do left-wing politicians' dirty work by meticulously searching Texas buses for any possible infractions, including logbooks, tire tread, fluid levels, even windshield wiper placement. Because you know that New York and other left-wing cities, they just love illegal aliens. There's an old saying out there, don't pee on my feet and tell me it's raining. That saying is now the Democrats' playbook. With allies in big government, the biased press, and compromised institutions, they are trying to force Americans to deny reality in favor of a narrative, a fake news narrative. Now, you have some tools to reject those narratives out of hand. That's right. You can reject those narratives along with the backward policy positions that go along with them.